Can you imagine what the world would be like if Jordan Peterson could openly talk about corn without being cancelled by the entire Western culture? I mean, he technically sometimes talks about it, but never really goes in depth. If he did, I believe these are the 7 rules he would have shared with you. How do I know? Well, my name is Danny Banchev. I'm the founder of the Off Corn Academy. I used to jerk off to that stuff on average 5 times per day, and now I've been corn free for years, and most importantly, I've helped hundreds of men do the same. After studying Jordan Peterson for way more than 100 hours, I extracted his most powerful rules that could be applied to beating one of the most dangerous addictions in the world. So let's break down the 7 rules Jordan Peterson would have shared with you if he could. Rule number 1, beware the monster you could become. Have you ever heard the interview with Ted Bundy? I'm not going to go deep into that because YouTube was going to take off my video. But he basically admits that a big part of everything he's done to these women was because of his corn addiction. I'm not making this up. You can go check it out by yourself. I'm not saying you'll become that. I'm saying you got to be aware of it, because think about it. You're not harmless. You're just well practiced at being weak. We all have a dark shadow side inside of us, and trying to repress that, ignore it, is never a good idea. And unfortunately, what happens is that when you avoid the discipline, so meaning you engage in cheap pleasure without responsibility, without effort, that dark side grows automatically. It doesn't happen in an instant. It happens over time, step by step, always pushing one step further, always looking at more and more extreme content. I know you know what I'm talking about. So here's how you can avoid that. Become aware of what you put into your mind. People talk about the nutritional diet, they talk about what you eat, but think about the mental diet. What do you consume with your mind? Stand guard at the doors of your mind, because that shapes your perspective of the world, your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your action, and your actions shape your results. All right, rule number 2. By the way, before we keep going, I just want to make sure you know that I'm literally about to give you every single step you need to take to solve that problem by yourself. You're gonna get all the information, all the freaking wisdom gems. You absolutely don't need to give me any money or buy my courses or my coaching programs. However, it's also just general information. So if you still want to save some extra time and get personal help from me, where we're gonna dive deeper into your personal situation, then you can schedule a free discovery call with me, 100% confidential. There are no commitments involved. I got you either way, but if you want to solve that problem in the fastest way possible, that will be the right move. All right, let's keep going. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. My brothers, have you ever heard the saying, the truth shall set you free? That's a quote from the greatest speaker of all time, aka Jesus Christ. Another thing that Jordan Peterson says is that truth is the greatest adventure you could possibly embark on. Every single religion, philosophy, ancient wisdom is always pointing to the one rule: truth. Listen, I'm not perfect. I've lied so much in my life, especially around things like sexuality, my corn usage. But I've also seen the quality of my life explode as soon as I started doing whatever it takes to follow the truth and be true with people around me. And I know it sucks and it's scary, but it's the price to pay. It's the perfect example of delayed gratification. Truth is delayed gratification. It sucks in the moment, but it's always worth it on the long term. So what are you gonna do with that? How can you apply that? Just stop lying. I'm not saying go confess to every single person in your life about what you've done in the past. Make sure to avoid situations in your life where you have to lie. And very often, if you start applying that, you're gonna see your corn usage drop just with this one single principle. And it's not even about the corn, it's not even about the escorts, about the adult entertainers, none of that stuff. It's about a life principle. All of your life, all of the quality of your life will improve with that one rule. All right, rule number 3. That's about to be a freaking great one. Treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. Boom. Let me ask you a question. Would you let your best friend spend hours wasting his precious time and energy jerking off to pixels, to women that don't even care who he is, with cheap pleasures that burns his brain? Could you honestly tell him, hey brother, that's okay, do it, enjoy yourself? You won't, so why do you let yourself do it? See that rule? If you actually apply it seriously, it can completely shift your life. Because the other side of that is, would you tell your best friend you're an absolute piece of shit? I'm ashamed of being your friend. You don't even deserve to be alive. You're just a failure. No one can trust you. No one will love you if they truly knew who you are. You won't say that, but that's what happens in your mind. That's the thoughts you entertain in your mind. We've all been there. So the two sides of that is, hey, you hold your friend accountable. Hey, like, you deserve better than this. That's not who you are. Like, raise your standards. And at the same time, you show him unconditional love. Y'all see how powerful this is? Hey, this man is a freaking smart man. All right, let's go to the next rule. I'm dropping these gems right here. Rule number 4. Y'all know when he says clean your room? I equate that clean your mind. What does he always say? If you can't even clean your own room, who are you to try to change the world? And that was such a wake-up call for me. I was always this guy like trying to change the world, and I believed I was the chosen one to, solve these big problems. I would look at my room and it's a complete mess. But what was even more chaotic was my own mind. That's when I realized I have to start solving my own problems, then sharing the solution to the world. That's how you provide the biggest amount of value. The reason I'm giving all of this right now is because I've struggled with that shit for years. I had to solve my own problem before being out here and giving y'all the wisdom. So if you're watching this video right now, you're obviously aware, part of you is like, okay, I want to quit that shit. Otherwise, you wouldn't have watched it so long. So until you take care of that problem, until you solve that problem. By the way, that's not only with corn, it's with escorts and adult entertainers and exotic dancers, all of that stuff, all of the sexual industry. Until you take care of that problem, part of you will know, you'll feel like a fraud. Because I know you're a man of purpose, you have a mission, you want to contribute, you want to serve people around you. So until you take care of that problem, you'll feel like a fraud. And that's not what we want. I've been there, by the way. I know how fucking painful it is. That's why I don't want you to feel that. So start by solving your own problems. Start by solving the individual problems, and just by solving them, you actually indirectly solve them for the world as well, because you'll just naturally set the example. That's how the game of life works. Alrighty, we are on fire here. I love it. Let's go to the next rule. Number 5, stand up straight with your shoulders back. I could use that advice right now. Now, obviously, he means it literally, but not entirely. What he means here is confidence. We are social creatures. Status will always matter, no matter what you try to freaking deceive yourself into. Oh no, I'm awakened. Oh no, I'm above that stuff. Just by that language, you're putting yourself above the people who are not that spiritual. It's still status. It's part of the human game. And confidence automatically makes you be perceived as a high status person, and also you feel like a high status person. Money, women, all of that stuff is just a result. It's a manifestation of that state of confidence and high status you can create within. That's what real masculinity is about. And we all know how that corn bullshit or all the sexual industry, again, how it completely fucks up your confidence. And so the next logical question is, well, how do you build confidence? Here's what I believe. I believe confidence comes from keeping your words. It's as simple as that. It comes from self-trust. That's why it's so important when you say something, when you commit to something, when you make a promise, please keep it, because every single time you break that promise, you're building the identity of someone who cannot be trusted. How can you expect the world to look up to you, to trust you, to have confidence in you if you don't even have that for yourself? It's not how the game works. Yes, you are humans. We cannot be perfect. That's why no one is fully, entirely, unshakably confident. He can seem so, but we all have our little insecurities. And I believe that actually comes from the fact that we cannot always keep our words. But let's say you commit to that and it becomes one of your main principles in life. What's gonna happen? How much is your life going to change? One of the main reasons why corn addicts or escort guys and all that stuff, why the confidence deep down is so low, even if they might sometimes pretend like they're all confident, the reason it hurts so deeply is because every time they make a promise, I'm gonna stop, never again, a few days later they're back. It's actually deeper than that shit, bro. It's not even about the dopamine, it's about the whole identity you're creating, because identity equals the actions you're gonna take, and the actions you're gonna take equal the results. Again, so follow that rule as if your life depends on it, because it actually does. Rule number 6, one of the most important ones: pursue meaning, not pleasure. Let's do a thought experiment, okay? Imagine yourself 2 guys and you push it to the extreme. One guy, all he ever does is pursue meaning and purpose and service. Like, that guy literally does not care about happiness, does not care about pleasure. He cares about meaning and living a life of contribution. When you push that to the extreme, in the end, even if he doesn't care about happiness, how happy will that person be compared to the other guy who he spends his whole life chasing pleasure, whatever it takes, cheap pleasure. What happens? It ends up being a downward spiral, falling into drugs. It's like that corn stuff is only the beginning. If you keep on pursuing pleasure, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. Why? Because it's never enough. It's a void that cannot ever be filled. And most of the times, what ends up happening? An overdose. Literally, on one side, you end up having this legendary life. One great example is Jesus Christ, literally. And on the other side, you end up being an addict who ends up overdosing. I'm not saying either scenarios is how y'all are going to end up. I'm saying when you push it to the extreme, you realize you're much better pursuing meaning. So from now on, when you make decisions, I want you to incorporate this style of decision making into your life. Push it to the extreme. It's so helpful. When you make a decision, it's like, okay, if I push this one to the extreme, what will happen? If I push this one to the extreme, what will happen? And then that will just give you guidance on which direction to choose. Because we can't always predict the future. Matter of fact, we can never control and predict the future. But at least the direction we take, it matters. Like, yes, be present, but have a direction. And that's exactly what this rule is about. All right, we got only one more left. Rule number 7, carry the heaviest load you can bear. Carry your cross. Guys, you always hear Jordan Peterson saying, your aim will determine the quality of your life because your aim determines your actions determine your results. I've also heard him on an interview with Joe Rogan when Joe Rogan was saying, there's a thing that men need. Men need difficulty. They need to be challenged. They need to overcome obstacles, and it's so important. Again, you remember earlier, we were talking about confidence. Well, another way confidence is built is overcoming obstacles. Actually, let me put it here. Confidence equals overcoming obstacles. So far, we know confidence is 2 things, keeping your words and overcoming obstacles. You built a stack of obstacles you've overcame. That's where confidence has come from. That's the unshakable confidence, as unshakable as it can possibly be. So let me ask you a question regarding the corn stuff. How willing are you to go through an urge? Because guess what? Urges come and go, and that's not in your control. And by the way, that's okay, because an urge can be sexual energy, and sexual energy has the power to create life. In itself, sexual energy is not right or wrong. It's what you do with it. How willing are you to carry the discomfort, the pain of an urge coming and going? How willing are you to carry your cross? I can promise when you develop that pain tolerance, it's going to ripple into every single area of your life. Because guess what? In order to be successful, is it the information that it takes? No, if it was information, we'll all be billionaires, we'll all be super healthy and happy with beautiful big families. If it was desire, again, that's not what it takes, because everybody wants to be healthy, wealthy, loved. So then what is it? What is the price to pay to become successful? Pain tolerance. That's why 99% never make it. By definition, in order to be part of the 1%, you got to do what 99% are not willing to do. Again, that shit's deeper. Like corn addiction recovery, and again, like moving out of that whole world of sexual industry, it's not really about that. It's that when you solve that one problem, you transcend that one problem, you become a greater man. You reach a deeper part of your potential. You become a man of honor, of integrity, of service. You become a provider. I know deep down, if you're still listening to this, you resonate with that shit. That's what you're here for. So that's all I got today for you, my brother. Hopefully you found it valuable. And again, you got everything you need on my YouTube channel. It's completely free. But if you want to save some time, I've done that with hundreds of men. Schedule a free discovery call with me where you can dive deeper onto your own unique personal situation. All right. In all cases, I love you. I'm grateful for you. You can subscribe or don't if you don't want to, but I'll see you here very soon. All right. Peace.